Old paint on old plaster in an old home is going to crack and peel. This video will show you all the steps you need to go through to make the area look new again. These are the products we'll be using. Our two favorite water-based primers are Behr Multi-Surface Primer and Sherwin-Williams Wall and Wood Primer. If there's water damage or water stains, you need a stain blocking primer like Zinsser oil-based cover stain or Zinsser bin shellac primer. To restore the surface, we use 20-minute easy sand. We call it 20-minute plaster. It sets up fast so you can apply a few coats in one day if you need to. For the paint, I love Sherwin-Williams Flat Super Paint for ceilings. It's a very solid paint that covers a ceiling evenly and touches up well for repairs in the future. First thing is first, almost any home made with plaster in the United States is going to be older than 1978, and any home older than 1978 should be checked for lead before a project. We use these 3M lead check tests on our projects because they're easy, fast, and accurate. As you see here, the lead test is not turning red. That means there's no lead. It's staying yellow. So we're free to just do our work and clean up our dust. We don't have to deal with any HEPA filters or anything like that, any lead prevention for safety. For any restoration project, we need to remove all damaged material until we're left with a good and healthy foundation to build from. Sometimes, like this time, it can be nerve-wracking because we really don't know where it will end. Old paint can have a crack, and as we scrape the loose paint, it very well may happen that all the paint on the whole ceiling scrapes off. But you just scrape until you can't scrape it off anymore. After the paint is all scraped, take your time to wash the plaster with a wet sponge and vacuum your paint chips. Really, this work can get overwhelming, especially if you and the whole work area are covered in a mess. Now that the plaster is prepped and cleaned, prime the whole surface. For smaller repairs and paint touch-ups, we really like these small rollers. These rollers work well with all of the primers and paint I mentioned earlier. You want to mix the plaster with enough water to make it look like peanut butter, but for a final coat I usually mix it just a little thinner so it goes smooth. This is very important. Use a few thin coats of plaster. Don't do this all in one coat. It's much easier to have a flat repair when you have a few thin coats. If you're new, maybe plan on up to 4 coats here. I got this done in 2 coats. This is where you'll thank yourself for the thin, flat coats of plaster. I don't like sanding and I don't know anyone who does, so skim it well. You'll notice I'm barely sanding because I barely need to. Now because this is a ceiling, we're going to apply 2 coats of flat paint. If your repair is on a wall and it has a paint with a higher sheen, prime now and apply 2 coats of that paint. And now you are done.